I've covered Kaspa and Turbo religiously on this channel for the last year. Every week we have had videos coming out about them. And as an investor, I like to talk about the good, but I also like to be critical. If we see something bad or something that should be improved on, we should talk about it openly and freely. Well, recently I've been asked what I thought about Crypto Jon's recent move. And there's been a lot of stuff going down on crypto Twitter, guys. Can't we all just get along? Selling out of Kaspa and going heavier into Turbo for potentially more gains. What do I think about that? Well, in this video, I want to do an unbiased view of absolutely everything. We're going to take a look at Kaspa and Turbo and see what I personally think could give more gains, or is there a difference at all? This video is not an endorsement of Kaspa, Turbo, or Crypto Jon. This is just a completely unbiased view of it and how I think we should look at it as investors, guys. It's going to be a great video. We're going to get into all of this and more. I love you all. This is never financial advice. So, guys, like I said, Jon stated that he was getting out of Kaspa, going into Turbo, and then the beef ensued with this lead developer behind Kaspa and Crypto Jon. And we're getting into that a little bit, but I'm not TMZ. I'm wanting to stay here and look at the data. Why did I fall in love with Kaspa? What was different about Kaspa than all the other cryptos that I'd bought into? Well, one, the chart looks a lot different. If you see a steady climb up versus everything else that I ever seen, started off high, crashed, and then went back up because of venture capitalists backing Kaspa. Fair launch. That is why I fell into it, but I also believe that could be a double-edged sword, and I will get into that in a minute. Kaspa, the fastest open source, decentralized, fully scalable layer 1 in the world. We've been talking about it for a full year. Where Turbo, on the other hand, is a meme coin. Originally no utility. They are now starting to get utility with Turbo Chain, partnered with Near Protocol's Aurora. You can see a meme coin made by AI for the people. This was made with a budget of $69 using ChatGPT-4. But let's switch back over to Kaspa a little bit, and because Kaspa is not a meme coin, right? Kaspa is doing real deal developments as a layer 1, a proof of work layer 1, and you can see their crescendo roadmap. This is the roadmap to 10 blocks per second. This is going to be game changing whenever this comes fully online. Currently sitting at a little over 1 block per second if we take a look at the data. But moving over to the chart has been pretty stagnant for the last year. If you kind of look at this, the yearly average is about where it's at now, or around 13 cents would probably be the average. Kaspa sitting at a market cap of $2.84 billion with 145 million in volume yesterday on Christmas. If we look at where Kaspa is available, you can see Bybit, BitGet, but the largest exchange is Kraken. And in some of my earlier videos, I had said that I originally thought Kaspa could take over Solana. And that is still true in the long run. But they have not managed to get the exchange listings. And that's one thing I've been a little critical of Kaspa on, is the marketing. But this is also where the double-edged sword on the fair launch comes. And there's not an allocation set aside to give exchanges this liquidity, to give exchanges these tokens in order to list it. So all of that has to come out of their pockets. They have to buy it just like you and I. So that is a large reason for all of this delay. And when we take a look at what is really going on with the tech, Shay or Shy, I'm not sure how to really pronounce his name, man is obviously a genius, a PhD quantum cryptographer, guys. This is really good. The only negative I will say about this, he's probably a great guy, is that he is very vocal on X, arguing with people. Like, I don't think he should have never even acknowledged that. You know, there's really no reason to, but this is also where freedom of speech comes in. It is his right on X. That's why the platform is there, to express himself. But sometimes investors may get turned off by that. They may not want to invest in something when the lead focal point of the project is, you know, talking in wild ways or talking crap on X. Yeah, it might be entertaining. I think he's a good guy, but there is consequences for sometimes freedom of speech. Ask Elon Musk. It's there all the time. But so whenever I evaluate Kaspa, those are really the two things that I can think of. We need better marketing, and then maybe just a more Kaspa focused platform to hear about it. Now, there is the official Kaspa X, but a lot of people go to the lead dev to hear stuff. And like I said, I think he's a good guy. There's nothing nothing wrong with him speaking his mind about, real world issues or anything. I just think that whenever you're on a big stage like this, representing Kaspa, trying to sell it to the world as the next big technology, the silver to Bitcoin's gold, that maybe we shouldn't be talking crap on X to other people. But now moving over to Turbo. Turbo with 107,000 followers, guys. This is a meme coin. They are starting to get utility, but it is far different than what Kaspa is. Turbo currently sitting a little over the 1 penny mark. If we go to the 1 year, it is a different story for Turbo here, sitting at a market cap of 670 million with 188 million yesterday in volume. So if we just do a comparison of these two, Kaspa 2.8 billion, okay, and Turbo 700 billion. So Kaspa is about 4 times the size of Turbo right now. When we go over and look at the actual charts, there's a lot of ways to interpret this chart, guys. And y'all know I'm not the biggest technical analysis guy, but we're basically in this channel. You could find a head and shoulders pattern on both of these charts if you really wanted to. But when we take a look at it, they're both kind of ranging in this same range. Neither of them have had the huge breakout that people were expecting. If we take a look here at Turbo, here was an all-time high right here. It barely broke that all-time high, then retraced a lot. Then this last time, it barely broke the all-time high by about 10%. And then it retraced even more. When we look at Kaspa, guys, ever since KRC 20, it has been going down. It had this recent pump. I thought it was going to make new all-time highs, and then everything kind of went south with Bitcoin, and the Fed FOMC meeting happened. So what do I think has the best returns? Well, I think in order to look at this, we have to look at the overall crypto market and pinpoint the target. What meme coin do we think Turbo can pass up? And what utility layer 1 do we think Kaspa can pass up? And then go from there. So when I look at all of these right here, let's start off with Turbo. What meme coin do we think Turbo could pass? Do we think it's going to pass up Doge Coin? I do not. Do we think it's going to pass up Shiba Inu, a multi-cycle token at a $12 billion market cap? I do not. But Pepe, a new emerging meme coin this cycle, one that has amassed a market cap of over $7 billion. Could it potentially, at the max of the max, pass up Pepe? I think it could. So if we look at this, just if it met right now where that was at, and all of this is considering that the entire market cap of everything moves linear, that it stays in the overall market cap dominance, Pepe, this would put Turbo at a 10.32x from where it is now, and put it at the 1 dime ranking. So this is not a price prediction for it. Mind you, if Turbo goes to the spot of Pepe and then the entire market cap does a 4x, this would also do a 4x. And that is the same with the overall Kaspa prediction that we're going to do, or the Kaspa comparison, I should say. But now I want to go look, what is the best that Kaspa could do? If we take a look at this, I do not think Kaspa is going to pass up Solana anymore, at least definitely not this cycle. But if it had a Cardano type run, a run like Cardano had years ago, right here, where it was way down here for a long time, around a $700-800 million market cap, then it hit $1 billion, then it absolutely exploded to the $6 billion market cap back in 2021. If it had that type of run, I do think it could pass Cardano. Guys, let me know down below if you agree with this or not. And so if we look over at Kaspa, if Kaspa got to where Cardano is now, and mind you, this is at the market cap now, but it's still a 10.8x away. So what does that mean? That means in the best case scenario for both of these tokens, I believe they have about the same returns, because with utility coins, they are able to get a much larger market cap. Once Kaspa really catches on, I believe we're going to have a lot more institutional investing, a lot more large companies wanting to integrate Kaspa, want to launch on KRC 20. And so there's just a lot more liquidity there. Whereas Turbo already has almost every exchange listing you could have. It's only lacking the Robinhood, but I personally believe the ceiling for it this cycle is right there at Pepe. So guys, personally, I am moving my portfolio more into utility plays right now. I'm not saying I'm selling my Turbo. I'm not saying I'm selling my meme coins, but what has happened? Why am I doing that? Well, just say I invested earlier this year 20% of my portfolio in Turbo. Well, that would now be 80% of my portfolio because of gain. So I have to re-diversify. I need to get my risk away. I need to reallocate to some things. And so whenever I look at that, the sectors that I am really looking for right now is AI right here. Okay. And when we look at AI, it's sitting at a $50 billion market cap. Then I'm also looking at real world assets, which sits at a $65 billion market cap. But if you just knock off Avalanche right here, that brings that down to a $50 billion market cap. And so I wouldn't even consider Avalanche a real world asset project. That's more gaming whenever I look at it. And so when I'm taking a look at this, I think 50 billion right here for AI, 50 billion right here for real world assets, and memes is 95 billion. So I believe that whenever all of the dust settles and the meme coin super cycle is over or at the end, I believe that there will be a lot of liquidity flowing into real utility. I believe there will be a lot flowing into the real world assets, the artificial intelligence, and these platforms are not normally layer ones. They are going to be built on top of something, and that could definitely be built on KRC20 and on top of Kaspa. That could definitely be built on Sui. That could definitely be built on Ethereum, but Ethereum's extremely expensive right now, and everyone knows we're looking for other opportunities. That's why I like Base so much. But guys, I wanted to address this. What did I think? Was there really more gains involved with Turbo potentially than Kaspa? I personally do not think it's the best time to get out of Kaspa. Whenever I look at this chart, it looks like the pretty much low for me. Could it go lower? Yes, it could. But whenever we look at this, it's getting right back to where it's bounced off of 4 times. So a good time to sell would have been up here somewhere. Like I said, you could see a head and shoulder pattern on both of these. You could see one right here. Let me just draw this really quick, guys. That could be bearish when we go over to Turbo. You could also count it out right here. We take a look right here. You could say that you got boom, 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 boom right there. Is that going to happen? I hope not, guys. But let me know. What do you think about this whole debacle? Do you think that Kaspa is no longer a good investment and that you should switch all over to meme coins, or do you think this is just a great time to invest in a Kaspa, guys? Let me know what you think down below and watch this video up above. And if you're not a part of the Freeman of Finance family, what are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.